talking
They
about.
do.
Hello. Hello. Welcome. We all got coffees and
Of course.
overalls.
Hey,
Yeah.
I've been working in the yard. It's
You've
springtime.
been working and digging, trying to put back together your wiring for your internet. Gabby took matters into her own hands.
Yeah, she did.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
That's right.
Well, what ended up welcome everybody. Welcome to Academy Voices Live. My name is Anthony.
I'm Gabby.
And I'm Angela.
And we are Academy Voices.
Yeah.
and BOJ and all that jazz and voice actors. But anyways, Gabby, what happened to your internet?
So we were grading the backyard with a bobcat, and we're just basically the whole backyard is being redone. And long story short is the internet line was not buried deeply, and we skimmed the surface and cut the fiber optic line. We had no idea that it was not even 2 inches below the ground. It's supposed to be like a foot.
Did you get sprayed?
No.
Oh, you didn't call the people out to spray
Well,
the
it
line?
doesn't. No, because we weren't digging. We were grading. We were bringing in new dirt and spreading it. And yep. And so, it took almost 5 days to get AT&T out here, and I ended up having to switch to Spectrum because they were here in 24 hours.
Wow.
So, yeah, kind of a wild ride, but I'm back.
Man,
Good to have you back.
It is good. So what was that like not being on, not having your internet? I always think for us it's like the worst possible thing.
Well, let's see. I found out that my local library is lovely. And camped out there for 2 days. And then I went and worked at my brother's house for 1 day. I mean, I made it work. It wasn't like it made meetings very challenging.
Yeah.
Because obviously, that takes a certain amount of bandwidth. So, yep.
My goodness. Well, talking about challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Today we were talking before this, and there has been some scams making their ways around the bin as always. So we thought we would chat about some scams going on that you need to know about. So Angela, talk to something that you were just telling me about that was coming about your way.
Well, we had a member of a VOJ in Discord ask if he had just been scammed. And I think it was just because perhaps the expectation of what is reality, or like how authors can reach out to you and how these things kind of come about, where because there's just so much fear now because with what happened to you, Anthony. I mean, we have to just be extra careful with everything and everywhere we are. But he was concerned that he was being farmed for AI, when in reality it sounded like a normal audition process, not quite like in the regular way of doing things, but this exact situation has happened to me a couple times before. So it's just the expectation or understanding how things can happen that you can presume it's a scam when really it might not be.
No, absolutely. And I want to talk about, so what happened to me, and then I'll share that. And then I think it would be good for us to talk about how to, if there's a way to smell out these, when someone's asking for an audition and things like this, because this happens a lot. And, there's moments to go for and there's moments to pause, but then I want to share what happened. So let me share that first. So basically what happened is that, and this is crazy. So does everybody know the Shop app, or it's like shop.app or whatever? It's a way you can buy stuff, but also tracks like people sell through Shop app. Anyways, it's an app. I never knew it until I bought something, and it was like track it, it's going through Shop app, and I was like, oh. So anyways, I had gotten a notification that someone had bought a $490.15 iTunes gift card.
Oh no!
Right, through my PayPal, right, and it was like paid through PayPal, and this was through the app, and that the label had been created, and if it was not me, to contact PayPal, and then they include a number.
Oh yeah.
right? So, of course, I'm thinking, what, I'm freaking out. So, yesterday we were here, Gabby and I were sitting right here about to go live,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was freaking out, and I was like, I can't. And Gabby's like, do you need to go talk to him? I was like, yes, I'm sorry. So, that's why what happened yesterday, we were like, right here. And what I found out is that, again, it was a phishing. I found out it was a phishing scam, but they were able to generate the scam inside the app by starting another. People start a pretend business, right, in a profile, and then they can create like a specific. They can create a label or like you've purchased something but you really haven't. It's some loophole that they do, and then they tell you to contact if something's wrong. So I was on the phone with PayPal, and basically PayPal was saying, hey, we've got no notification here, and like no one's charged anything. It sounds like a phishing scam. They're like, give us the number, and I gave them the number, and she said that's like in West Texas or something. It's like, because it was an area, it wasn't like an 800, it was like a 804, was like an area code or something like that, some sort of actual phone number. And so I imagine if I called it, they would have tried to pretend they were PayPal and get information from me, you know what I mean? And I think that's how it is. So anyways, then I called my bank to make sure. So that was all, I figured that all. Then I found out that it was not actually hacking into my account. It was actually a loophole that they could create. So anyways, I was like, okay. So I went through all that, but it just it just reaffirms how many people are constantly and it only constantly going after us. And because we are online, it is a price we have to pay, sadly.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to take off my phone numbers, I'm not going to take off my email addresses, I'm not going to take off the stuff, because I need to have them online. Now, part of me does wish I had a PO box. You know what I mean? Like in some ways, because I have to use my home address. So even my home address is online, is a business, because we have to. Okay, well, in Virginia, I'm sure you have to do it everywhere else, but in Virginia, you know what I mean. You have to, as your LLC, I think any LLC, you have to state at least that information, generally, right? And so, but again, it can be somewhere else. But I have all my information is out there publicly, anyways. So it's just the price we have to pay. So, like Angela and I were talking just a little bit before, change your passwords on everything very regularly. Very regularly.
Make them difficult.
Yes. But anyway, so woe's me. That was my woe's me story for the day. I wanted to, though, go on to what we were talking about, because I have found, and I'm going to be honest with you, Fiverr was the original part that got me, up in arms about this, because we get asked for a lot of auditions, no matter where you are. And it can be very difficult sometimes, especially nowadays with our fear with AI, that they're just trying to grab your voice. So let's talk about some things. Gabby, let's start with you. Let's talk about some things like because I remember the last time we were talking about this, you were talking about that. What was it? The scam that was going around.
It was a book.
Yeah. Right.
Something Island, something. Yeah.
Ashcroft?
Probably.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that was it. It was
the Ashcroft curse.
Like yeah, the Ashcroft curse. But you kind of took a couple of actions, right? That when you were confused about it, instead of like dismiss, because I think what happens is we might all like be like, no, like right off the bat and say no. Because I will tell you, I have thought a couple of times that something was a scam when it turned out to be. I told a story about the Minnesota Vikings one. I thought that was a scam, and it turned out to be not a scam at all.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Gabby, what actions did you take, when you were like, I don't know if this is real or not?
So one of the things that I do is I engage tentatively, hesitantly, and I make it a point very early on in the communication to use the word scam, because if many scammers, when they see that, or they think that you are at least somewhat hip to that process, they disappear. That's the end of it. And so I may say things like, oh, thanks so much for your interest. there's a lot of scams out there right now. So could you tell me a bit more about the project or what you're looking for? Give me some more details. Something that isn't accusatory for them, but that just broadly covers the topic. And yeah, many of them disappear immediately. The other thing that I do is in that first correspondence, I'm looking to see, are they actually answering me? Or is it a bot, right? Is it just a canned generic response that makes no sense? And you can figure that one out pretty darn quickly. You know, or are they just refusing to answer any questions? But I always make it a point to ask a very specific question, usually something like you know, what's your deadline or your time frame, to see if they will answer it. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. How about you, Angela?
Pretty much the same as what I'm going to start using the word scam in my initial correspondence as well. I think that's a great idea. But one thing that I definitely like to share with everybody is if there's links in initial messages, if you don't have any rapport, usually the first one or two messages, if they're sending a link, here, go reference this, or go or come sign up here or something. I never, just point blank period, never click links.
Oh yeah.
In anywhere. If the client is saying, here, this is our company, check it out, I don't click that either. I look at the name of the company, I go to my own search bar and I search it myself. I never, ever, ever click links. And if it's like a link to a Google folder, because all the information I need is in that, I tell the client, because of the world we live in today, could you please just upload these documents here? That way, most of the platforms do have virus scanners for documents, or like a previewer, so you don't have to download them. You can see them within the app, which is helpful. And even at that point, sometimes they never come back to me because the link.
Yes.
And in that case, you dodged a bullet. So
yeah,
but
no,
never,
absolutely.
ever click links.
Absolutely. I think I always look at this is true. I look at the Gmail. Is it a Gmail account? Typically Gmail accounts are red flags. But I know even for me, I feel weird sending links because I get a lot of contact, but I feel like if someone contacts us and asks for information, then it's fine to send a link. You know, because we get contacts for people trying to join Academy of Voices. And of course, I'm saying, hey, check out this is where you go to start. But yeah, there's links in there. That's always happened. Now, here's another thing that some people might know. If you're on ACX is notorious, and it's been this way for years. And I feel like writing Bezos, although he's retired now, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, but he cares. But we all know the communication apparatus on ACX stinks. It has stunk forever. All right. And I've always worried about the scams that run through ACX because, you know, they go through ACX as well. And it's you'll get contacted and then you try to reach back out to somebody and they ghost you, or you'll get a contract and no one will answer you. And everybody on ACX, they know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, oh, this is so exciting. And then you can't, where's the author? Or where's the person? We don't even know. They might not even speak English. I mean, I'd say, right, because they might be going through a third party, which is possible. So, you know, it is something that, that is true. But I'm going to now play the devil's advocate too, which I hate to do. But there are going to be moments where you think they're asking you for a audition, and you submit. You know, like I've thought times where I was a scam and it wasn't. So you know, you've got to weigh the pros and cons. What would you guys say about? So it's one thing to be scammed about them fishing for information. That's pretty, to me, that's I don't think there's moments to take chances on that. But the time to take a chance is, I think, in making it harder is because we're worried they're going to be cloning our voices now as well.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't know. And I want to get y'all's opinions. To me, I'm up in the air because I feel like in some senses, I'm still going to take a chance. Because I'm almost like they could clone my voice anyways. Any of us, all the three of us here, they could clone our voices 1,000,000 times over. There's enough of our talking online for them to take our voices.
It's true.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about that?
You know, I The only time I really am overly concerned about that in an audition is if I get the audition and the script or the words make no sense with what they've said it is. If those two things don't connect and the story or the information is very disjointed, or that's always a red flag for me. That's something I look for, and that's where I'll decline to proceed. But most things, honestly, yeah, I don't worry about it too much, because it's like you said, Anthony, if somebody wanted to, they've got every opportunity. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
We do have a comment down here from Ryan. That's Ryan. He says, honestly, I think for me, it's the imposter monster raises his nasty head. I almost always start to think or worry about scam right away because they can't really want me in my VO.
Oh, that breaks my heart, because that's oh gosh, who was it? That was it Henry David Thoreau, that the audacity to dare. Right, we have to believe, right, in ourselves and our skills, and in the dream and the thing we want to do. And that hurts my heart,
Oh my God,
truthfully.
that makes me think of that story, or that tale. You guys heard that about the flood? Well, anyways, there's this guy, right? And there's this flood that comes through the town, and it's raising up through his house, and he's trying to save himself, and he gets on top of the roof of his house, and the water is coming up, and he only has a few minutes, he feels like, left to live, and he prays to God right away, please help me. And as he's praying, right, this guy in a rowboat rows by, right? And he's like, hey man, you need some help? And he's like, no, I'm waiting, God's gonna save me. Right. And the guy's all right, man. And he rolls away. Right. And then, he's praying, please, God, please, I have so much to live for. Then as he's doing that, right, a speedboat comes by. Dude, hey, we've got some room. He's no, God's coming. I'm going to pray for God. Right. And then
that's right.
And then the guy speeds by, and then a helicopter comes. Hey, we're here to save you. No, God's coming. Right. And then they fly away, and then the guy drowns, and he's in heaven. He's like, God, why didn't you save me? He said, dude, I sent you a rowboat, a speedboat, and a helicopter. What else do you need?
Yeah.
It's just, I sent you 3 boats, right? So I think that is a thing that we all struggle with. Are we worthy of this?
Well, but my answer to that too is, I think there's that what's reasonable component. If it was like the John Grisham scam that went around very recently.
Oh my
and
goodness.
I laughed until I cried when I opened that email, because the email was a giant picture of John Grisham right in his home library, surrounded by books. And it literally said, I want to hire you. It was written in first person from John Grisham. I want to hire you to narrate my new bestseller. And I'm like, bullshit. That's just hilarious, because it's the knowledge of how the process works, and it's knowing that, yes, a relatively unknown author, a new author, right, even an author who's got a number of titles under their belt but doesn't have, I don't know, household name notoriety, they are yes, they are likely to be involved with a narrator. They are likely to speak to you directly and have communications about their books. John Grisham, Stephen King, write these. No, they're not involved. That's being handled first and foremost by their publisher. There's a slew of people involved in that. That's going to be a Hollywood level, celebrity level casting potentially. You're not, if you were to have the opportunity to speak directly with him, it would be the day of the recording in the studio. Yeah, that's it.
Or it's Scott Brick.
Right. But that's what I mean.
Scott,
but even
right?
Someone like Scott Brick, that's how that would happen.
Right. I mean, they put him in a studio.
It's not like so those are the kinds of things I look at. It's like, what's realistic, what's reasonable here.
And that's
Um,
usually my red flag too, is the
mm,
too good to be true, or the I need this many right now, windows closing, we're paying $5,000, blah 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 blah. Everything's too good and we need it now. So
yeah.
you don't stop and think, you just do, right? Urgency.
So what would you so because this is Academy Voices live, you two ladies are on the forefront of Academy Voices. I really love this part of Academy Voices, and that is that people don't have to worry about scams,
Yes.
right? Why is that?
Because we are people. Because honestly, because you have a team of honest to God human beings filtering, checking, running everything,
Hmm.
and making certain that we're looking out for your best interests. Because we're voice actors too. We wouldn't want it to happen to us.
It's not an open access platform.
Right.
Everyone
Yeah.
is vetted by mostly Anthony. Anthony vets pretty much every author that
Yeah.
comes through.
It's exhausting.
The staff that's involved is all vetted by Anthony. We're all people doing
Yeah.
people
And
things. Not everybody can get on.
you know what's interesting about that now I think about it? I do think in a way that limits us. In some ways, because it is harder to get to you because you have to either like you literally have to talk to me. I don't let people just come in because of that. Now, I think it's a good thing, but at the same time, I do think that, because the authors, whoever it is, everybody's busy. So, sometimes anyways, that's another time for another conversation because but yes, we vet everybody. And then,
Mhm.
our work is goes through people. There is everything is manually done. I mean, it's manually done by Gabby, it's manually done by Angela, and it's manually done by me. So it is a lot.
It sounds crazy, but the quality control
Right.
is superior.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you recall, Anthony, when you went on TikTok Live, I think for the first time, you mentioned that you meet with everybody that comes in author-wise, and the authors that were present were appreciative of that. I mean, busy or not, if I spent years of my life working on something, blood, sweat, tears, and years, right, I'd want to make sure that it was handled correctly by the correct person, and sometimes you need to meet that person.
I do often wonder, and I think this is no, absolutely, and I think this is an interesting topic for another time, but it's more of like a thought exercise in our businesses as individual voice actors and then as Academy Voices in general, because I always wonder, even on, you've got authors who go on Fiverr and these different places who are paying good prices per finished hour, and I think to myself, why aren't they come to, or why more of them aren't coming to Academy Voices? And I mean, I have answers. I mean, I have thoughts why, of course, clearly, because probably the majority of them have no idea we exist still. But I do think that a lot of it also is what's the ease of access, what's your messaging, all of these different things play a part. I know I'm going kind of off because I'm just thinking about all of it, but I do think in the end, well, going back to the topic we were saying, is that cool thing is the authors we do have, they keep coming back. Like they'll send me, they want another book done by us and another book done by us. And I think that's the
Yes.
biggest compliment to what we're
Yes.
doing, right? Is they want to keep working with us.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really great. I will say though that if we have a book up, we need audition.
And
Yeah.
some of those authors came from our narrators suggesting authors
A lot of
come
them
work
do.
with us. So, I
Mhm.
mean,
Just
if you're
wonderful.
in Academy Voices as a narrator and you meet an author, I mean, we have our own they can come work with us. They can publish their book through
And
us
if you have
using you.
any questions, ask us. Like, and
Yeah.
if you have questions, because a lot of them, the biggest questions I typically give from all of them is, hey, what's the royalties? What's the split? What's the cost? What's it? Because that's we want to know the bottom line. Please feel free to send me messages anytime. Email me, whether it's through Academy Voices or Discord, like if you're in, VOJ, like ask those questions. Because I just yesterday, we had a narrator was working with an author, and an author was talking to them about they were trying to decide whether to go to ACX or Academy Voices. And they even put Academy Voices and ACX and ran it through Chat GPT and said, which one is better? Which one do you recommend? And it produced this whole list, and they sent me the list, and I thought it was excellent. I thought it was fascinating. And because it was kind of cool what they said was the pros and then might be the cons. I didn't get a chance to share this with you guys, but I thought that was really cool. So I think one of the biggest pros were, of course, is that the distribution, I hate to say it, the hand holding. I mean, that was a big thing it talked about. There's people that are going to actually help you, whereas ACX, that's not the way it is at all.
Yeah.
Now, some of the downsides or some of the cons that it talked about, I thought were very interesting, and which led me to believe I got to do a better job of communicating on the front end of the website is they talked about contract ambiguity. And I thought about, well, that's funny because our contracts are not ambiguous at all. But on the front of this is why it's a good thing. And I don't even know, maybe some of us would be interested to put our own businesses in there and see how does it look? Because I was like, oh, so maybe the front facing website, like an author going there or someone going there might be like, oh, I don't understand this and this and this. So I thought it was actually I'm going to send it to you guys. It was a very cool look at what it said. And I think that's what's happening right now. We've got a lot of people learning more about us, and they're determining whether to work with us because we don't have a name. And this goes out to everybody else. We don't, when you're starting you don't have a name yet.
Yeah.
So people just won't work with you based off of your name. People will work off of ACX just based off of its name. Yeah. And it's been around forever, right? And it's a portal there, even though but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So sorry, a lot of information there. Well, I think we've come to the time. We've been on here almost 30 minutes. Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Time flies. Well, any closing words? So Academy, where are we with everything, you guys? Where are we with everything? Angela, last time I talked to you said there's some books out that we're trying to get some revisions. What's going on with that?
Yeah, and a lot of people came into Academy Voices and responded to me. There was just a few slight tweaks, as we talked about before. I was just kind of fixing things to get caught up with the backlog. But now that we're not at the backlog point anymore, and the narrators have asked me to tell them, one even left me a voice note in the audiobook bundle saying, if there's anything wrong, please let me know. So I listened. Which,
by the way, Angela, that's amazing because you guys we don't get that anywhere. You don't ever get that, especially not from a seasoned narrator like Angela. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but they did reply, and I'm getting a lot of those fixes. So we should be back to streamlining. Yep,
that's great.
About auditions and all that jazz, Gavin.
There are 350 auditions in the tank.
Holy smokes.
Waiting right now.
Get on it.
Well, Anthony wanted to break 1,000.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For the year. So I said, okay, the only way that's going to happen is if the back end work is done and those auditions are simply ready to roll. So I have 50 more to go to get to that point. And the rest is up to you guys. I just need more auditions.
Sounds like I'm putting my hair up soon, getting to work. About a month or so, I'm going to be a busy little beaver.
Well, every time I see that, we get notifications, and I see files. People are uploading files and uploading files.
Yep.
I do want to say something real quick though, because I think this is always on the back end of what we do at our business in Academy Voices. I feel like there's this always battle or question about royalty share and whether you should be doing royalty share or not be doing royalty share. And I always get people saying, well, I'm trying to get more per finished hour work. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But I think I'm angry at ACX for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons I get angry with them is because I think they've ruined the idea of royalty share for a lot of people. And it doesn't have to be like that. And I think it's a long road to educate people. But royalty share is a great model. It's a great model. As long as you're selling audiobooks. So the audiobooks we do, right? We do a lot of classic stuff that sells, right?
Yeah. And I find books all the time that we haven't done yet. And I'm like, what? Animal Farm. Animal Farm, like one of the, I'm like, whoever gets that book, that's a gold mine
And
waiting to
anybody
happen.
scrolling through audiobooks to
Mhm.
buy is going to see that and have the same exact reaction you just did. I gotta hear that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
So it's wild. It's wild. But I love the process. Yeah.
But just another note on royalty share, Anthony. We have somebody in our chat. I think she's on my channel because we're streaming to both different channels. That she's making a good amount of money on just royalty share alone. So don't discount royalty share. It can add up.
I mean, we don't. I'm not ever share personal information with people, but I can tell you there are people who are making a lot of. When I say a lot of money, hundreds and hundreds of dollars per payday for sometimes literally for one 19-minute audiobook.
Yeah.
19 minutes.
Wow.
You never know.
No.
All right. But then there's also, like, right now we have one of our narrators. She's amazing. And Susan Edney. I'll say her name, Susan Edney. She's a fantastic narrator. And she's done Pride and Prejudice from us. She's done Wuthering Heights, and the Wuthering Heights has done extremely well. Of course,
she's working on Sense and Sensibility.
She's
I
working
believe
on Sense and Sensibility, and it's great. It's great. We have quite a few of our narrators who, their money is coming into them, so it's a good thing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, and I think don't underestimate the importance of getting jobs under your belt in a safe and secure environment.
Yes.
Right? That you don't have to worry about the scams that we're talking about. You don't have to worry about people, coming after you, and you don't have to worry about getting into a royalty share project that's poorly written. This is some of the best written things throughout history.
I think that's one of the biggest concerns with ACX when it comes to royalty shares, that most people are concerned they're going to invest all of this time into this book just to be ghosted or to have the contract canceled or something happen and it was all for naught. That doesn't happen with us.
Yeah. Okay. Ren says, I think I signed up for Academy Voices last night.
Yay!
Hey, awesome. Uploaded a picture and demo. Great. Wasn't sure what to do after that. Hey, great question. So, I mean, after you sign up, you have immediate access. So you did that. You uploaded your picture and demo. But by the way, you didn't have to do that to get immediate access, but that was good too. But you have immediate access to our job posting board, to where we, where all of the jobs are posted that you can audition for. So you can literally just start immediately auditioning for all of the audiobooks that are available there. And basically you join one of them and you record based off of the script that's given in there, and then you upload the file right there. And then Gabby and Angela take care of the rest.
Yep.
Good question. Okay. This is at Angela. What is the name of the VO site you can volunteer your VO skills?
I used to recommend LibriVox a lot, but I've heard as of late that they're doing some weird AI stuff. So what I would say to you, Edwin, is join Academy Voices and audition for our books.
That's what I was going to say. I'd rather
also,
Yeah.
Well, also remember, Melissa has volunteer voiceovers, and she's one of our coaches, and so that's an opportunity there as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's a really smart. I mean, both of you, and I would agree. So, Angela, I would agree. I mean, like, why? I always said I'd rather do something where I was getting a chance with the royalty share, anyways, to possibly make money. Right. And I'll be honest with you, LibriVox is great, but the thing with LibriVox is if you've ever been there, you know what I mean. It's very
rudimentary,
right? You know what I mean, which makes sense because it's all free. I get it; it's all free and stuff like that. But there's no handhold, there's nobody there. I mean, it's very challenging to to do it, I think, and so that's a good thing. And then of course, with what Melissa does, that is something I think is a little more corporate, which is great. Anything that you can be a part of, that's really good to work on your skills. Let's see what it says. Yay, welcome to the great adventure. Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Wait, listen, everybody, thank you so much for being with us today and joining Academy Voices Live. We'll be back tomorrow for Open Forum Friday. As long as I don't get hacked again, so we'll be okay.
Knock on wood.
And audition Audition, audition, audition. You should be auditioning every single day, no
Yep.
matter what. Any final words, you guys?
Keep me busy.
Yeah, for real.
For
real.
That's right. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. See y'all later.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.